On the count of three. Three? Shit! Bum bum bum. Hello, we are here with CVW number 5. Wow, crazy! I know I'm showing some skin because we have some craziness to talk about. This week, I'm brought to us by the Queen himself, Bustin' Jeebers. Woo woo! I realized that we had a lot of things in common. We both have long hair. Neither of us can grow a mustache. Well, he can sing a little. We do have some differences. He can sing a little bit better than me. He does have like $1 billion, which is a little bit more than what I have. But luckily, and I do have this over him, I don't have to look stupid tomorrow. This is just gonna come off. Even today, I'm gonna look better than Justin Bieber. So, hey Justin Bieber, we look similar. Otherwise, I saw him this weekend, last night actually. In fact, I was watching, it was weird, I didn't even think he was on it, but I was watching, I think it's Idiocracy. It's this one where, basically, it's this like dystopian, futuristic setting, and everyone's just incredibly dumb. They're all just kind of mostly focused on entertainment rather than actual education or like doing anything with common sense or decency. They regularly get themselves into simple problems that they could just get themselves out of. And there's one person who can read, and he's kind of in charge, but he's not really in charge. The main ringleader dude, he's basically like the president. He's so dumb, like incredibly stupid, but he's trying to entertain everybody, so he's a very pump up, hype up guy. But again, can't read. There's a prostitute, but it turns out there are a lot of prostitutes. That's a movie. No, I didn't. That's Idiocracy by Mike Judge. Whoops. No, this was live. This is going on. This is Triller Fight Club with Logan Paul and Ben Askren. It was pretty nuts. I did get those two mixed up. They were very similar. I think I watched that Mike Judge movie, I don't know, maybe a week ago. So it must have just got flipped in my head. But very, very similar. But that was real life. They were actually doing some of the stupidest shit I've ever seen. Oh yeah, we're gonna swear a lot. We're just gonna have it out for the symbolism. There was so much terrible events, so many. I can't even speak well. It's just rubbing off on me how stupid everything was. There was a reggaeton fighter. It's artist. To call him a fighter is just embarrassing to boxing, but he boxed against an actual boxer from Raycon, and I don't know why he did it. I mean, he's more of a man than Jake Paul. He's actually boxing someone with boxing experience. Anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. Oh yeah, then there were two people I actually had to look up, which I can't believe I wasted a Google search on this. There were two girls after that fight who I don't, never heard before, never heard their music, never heard of them. Even when I looked them up, I was baffled. But listening to their songs just set me back. I was like, oh, one girl wasn't even singing well. Then it cut to another girl who just wasn't dressed in the middle of the boxing ring. She was singing. She was actually doing whatever she was supposed to be doing. But then it would cut back to this other girl just grinding on the stage. almost lip syncing. Like she wasn't. It was. I don't know if they actually were trying to make it look like she was singing, but it was so apparent that she wasn't singing that even the cameras were like, okay, we gotta like cut away, don't show her face close up. So I don't understand why even go out and attempt to sing. Like, why not just have the track on and say, I'm just gonna dance. It's better. But then, to really cap it, whoever it was, Saweetie, sure, she decided to, I don't know if it was remixed, you know, with consent, or if they just kind of took the beat from Buttons for the Pussycat Doll song. But imagine being a Pussycat Doll and watching that. Remember, like, you're just like, okay, I'm watching a crap fight. I have nothing better to do on a Saturday. Let's see what's going on. And then someone starts playing a remix version of your song with essentially the same theme as Buttons. Like, I didn't write down the whole song, but, you know, the gist of both of them were that they were looking to get their clothes off. It was a bad remix, and then you have this person who's almost lip syncing, but not really, like not even putting an effort in to lip sync to it, and then they're just dancing. At one point, she was legitimately laying down on the ground and just arched her butt up and then arched it right back down. I mean, it's a move because she moved, but I don't understand it. But could you imagine being a Pussycat Doll, watching this big event, and then being like, is that my song? Who is this? Could you imagine Googling the person as a Pussycat Doll, just being like, oh my god, what? Why not just, they could have paid me like half as much and I would have gone out and done the song. But, well, half as much. Pussycat Doll would be expensive. Let's not kid ourselves. They've done their small time gigs like this. They don't need any of that anymore. But yeah, it was embarrassing. I watched it all, so I can't. It's not like I... Well, no, sorry. Something happened after the boxing match, apparently. Once it was done, that's it. Why keep watching? That's the main event. That was the ground. That was not... I'll let you know if I fart. That wasn't real. But thank God. I don't know why. Let's cut a bit. Snoop Dogg was there. Snoop, what the hell? Like, you even know who Logan Jake is? Like, what the hell? Just cut out of there. But anyway, I mean, money can do just about anything these days. Snoop was there. Thank God Snoop was there because he brought some West Coast action. Mount Westmore is going to be ridiculous. Too Short, E40, Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg. They saved the show. And they were in the middle, so it wasn't even like they actually saved the show because you still had to watch absolute garbage after them. But they came out, E40, it followed up those two mime acts and just ripped apart a couple songs, sang them the whole way through. He must have just been like, how they're probably getting paid similar money to him. Hopefully not, but considering it's, you know, same show, comparable money. Just to watch that and be like, I'm just going out by myself. I'm going to do 10 times better than both these people. There were only two of them. Too Short came out with quite possibly my favorite person ever. Just this girl in a mesh suit. The fattest ass. Good for her. I don't know what she's doing. He kept referring to her as wife, if that is. What a relationship. But I think that was just the song. Either way. Again, save the night. Ice Cube. Can't have today was a good day and it's a bad day. Like, it was a good day. Thank you, Ice Cube. And Snoop Dogg, of course. You gotta drop it like it's hot with Snoop. But again, what are you doing, Snoop? Like, can you please just pull yourself out of that crew? I understand he won $2 million or whatever. Good for him. That's great. Hopefully, he just cuts and runs, because that crew is, as Pete Davidson said, they are just awful people. They might be good at boxing. Well, one of them might kind of be good at boxing. Still undetermined. He hasn't fought anyone that he doesn't have an advantage over, so we'll see when he matches up with somebody. My phone rang. I don't know what that was. didn't even show a text message, so. Well, okay. Then, after all this, finally you get some, I don't, it could have been Diplo, it's just somebody spinning the discs. And, then there's this purple skinny dude. He's not all purple, just the top of him was purple, and he's rhyming in Spanish. I was like, oh, fucking finally, Justin Bieber making up for that Despacito, where he had no idea what the Spanish was. Didn't even know, like, what Spanish was as a language. He just thought that, some bad ones. He just, people that helped him out just were speaking some fun language he didn't understand. But anyway, I was like, good for you, Justin Bieber. Win back the Latin community, Latinx. I don't know what I'm supposed to say there. But no, it wasn't even him. He had orange hair. He didn't have purple hair. I don't even know who Spanish man was, but he did a good job. Much better than Justin Bieber rhyming in Spanish. And then Justin Bieber did come out eventually, which was, no one could wait. He played some, he played songs, I think. Yeah, he did. He played, like, slightly different beats and sang varying phrases over those different beats. And the tempo changed. So, I mean, yeah, he really did stuff on stage. And then at one point, between switching songs, this was a fun one, Justin Bieber really wanted to get some crowd work in. And so he's like, how are we doing tonight? It's an empty crowd. There were about 10 people. You could hear the responses because the mic was, there. And you got, woo, woohoo, we love you, Justin. Wow, and then woohoo. So, Justin Bieber, he got the response, didn't answer his question at all, so I guess this might have been why. But he then asked again, how are we doing tonight? Dead silence. No one responded. Why? They already put forth their statements. So it was pretty fun. You'd think that someone who's been working a crowd his whole life would be able to get things right on stage, but he couldn't. He still needed to milk time to fix that piano of his, apparently. Come on, Justin Bieber. It's been 20 years. Get this shit right. Then Pete Davidson held possibly the best interview with Ben Askren, just saying, hey, anyone saying that they want you to fall down is just nearby Jake Paul's people. Like, that's it. Not even near Jake. Like, people when they're near Jake will say stuff just like, whatever. But that's only if his people aren't around. So I guess that statement doesn't really hold true because Jake Paul always has an entourage of people that are bigger, probably meaner than him. But yeah, so, Pete Davidson's down in the locker room, and it's just Ben Askren. He's like, hey, we're all rooting for you. We all want to see this Logan kid get knocked down. And, yeah, please do it. And so they just got along. Ben Askren gave the quote of, and I have to paraphrase, unfortunately, because it caught me off guard. I really was just too thrown by it. But he gave the best quote towards the whole fight night, whatever the hell it was. Felt like a bad mentor because all week he had been telling, however long he's been hyping this up, he's been telling his young wrestling students to watch the match, to show, that if you put your mind to it, I mean, he's not a boxer, and he, went out for like a month, I guess, and started training. And he, he did all right. Not well, but better than a 4-foot tall basketball player, apparently. Because Nate Robinson actually was knocked out, whereas Ben Askren fell down. Definitely had wobbly knees. Like, I'm not going to say that it was a light punch that knocked Ben out. It was a hard punch. It was a good punch. But, I mean, you had old Blue from Old School in there refereeing. Like, anything where someone touched the mat, his heart rate probably jumped up to 130. Like, he is scary to have in a ring. I don't understand why they got him. They could have honestly had just about anyone in there that was like 24, 25. There weren't going to be boxing rules blown. You know, it wasn't like he was going to have to really call a technical refereeing match. No, it was just going to be two guys that are going to punch each other in the head a bunch of times. Worst case, it's when they wrap up. You just got to go in and say, hey, break it, break. But yeah, so then one round happened, and Ben Askren was standing talking. You don't hear the words, so I don't know how unslurred or slurred his speech was, but Old Blue stopped that pretty fast. Gave him the 8 count and was like, oh, you still sound pretty dumb, Ben. Hold up. But yeah, like Ben Askren was 12 years older than him, so I guess you could give that a Ben Askren check in the win column, but I mean 36 to 24, it's really different primes in your life. Ben Askren was a wrestler, Olympic, yes, but you're not allowed to hit anybody in wrestling. You don't really have to worry about head movement. Footwork is super different because you really want to lock your legs, not lock your whole leg, but your feet can stay in a fairly stable base position for a lot of wrestling, whereas in boxing, I mean, you bounce like a butterfly, sting like a bee, float like a butterfly. I knew I knew it wasn't alliteration. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. So you got to be moving around. It's just different. Like, that's all. It's not like, yeah, Ben has a lot of fight, combat, sport background, but you change the rules. Conor McGregor has a ton of fight, combat, sport background, and he didn't do jack shit against Mayweather. So, I mean, you gotta understand the rules, what's gonna actually happen, and, you know, what one of the competitors has been training for over a year, one over a month, so yeah, it was as fair a fight as a 12-year difference, and one being a boxer, one being a wrestler could be. You know, it's a very close fight. Good job, Logan Paul. Overall, the whole thing is great. I mean, he knocks over a wrestler who then gets told by a octogenarian that he probably shouldn't be boxing, which makes sense. I mean, if you're getting told by some man who's on death's door that you probably shouldn't be doing what you're doing, man, take it. I mean, Ben Askren got out of there quickly. He knew it was wrong. Yeah, so all that was pretty crazy. Jake Logan, whatever, his brother, whatever his face is, came onto the stage. They had a hug while there were those underage girls in the back holding up his belt. It's great. I don't think Jake really had the strength to hold up that big red fanny pack at the end of the fight. I mean, his arms were probably pretty tired from 80 seconds of whatever happened. It was pretty scary. But yeah, so those teenagers in the back were saying, here's your belt, sir. I don't know what they say at the end of the match. Then Logan was like, thank you. I hope. Actually, he's kind of a jerk, so he probably was just like, that's it, just a look, you know. What the heck, man. And then it was I don't know what happened there. It was a win-lose. Lose. Okay, let's go lose, win, lose. Just kind of bunch it up. It was a lose because, unfortunately, I did watch all of it up until Ben Askren left. I think once I saw him out of the building, I was like, oh, he's not even going to get an interview? Okay. Boop, off. So that was a loss on my part. We do have a win because Logan, Jake, Paul Logan, he won. He did win. He was awarded the fanny pack at the end of the match, which is good. But again, the second loss comes in because I watched the whole thing. Like, there weren't YouTube videos in the back, nothing. I watched all of that. The music, I'm gonna put quotes, because except for fucking E42 Short, Ice Cube, and Snoop, like, Doja Cat did well. I didn't even say Doja Cat. Doja Cat did all right. She was pretty cool, but she was a mix between the two. Like, she actually rapped and sang and danced. So she was fine. I guess that's why I forgot about her, because she was actually like a decent part of it. Whereas she wasn't really a surprise either. Like, I don't know who Doja Cat is. Once I saw her, I was like, oh, you're someone who's good at the computer and stayed inside a lot. Nice. She can rap and dance. Good for her. Let's see. I think that's about Doja Cat did well. I don't know. Diplo was there. I don't know if he ever... That might have been the Spanish guy. But I have no idea when Diplo played. Maybe after. Maybe he was just a private... That's a big name. Maybe he was just a private performer for whoever was actually there. Who knows? Yeah. There was a lot of weed was smoked there, which was surprising. Snoop Dogg's there. Everyone's gonna be high. It was all they could talk about. Steve Urkel got high. It was a good time, other than, I've definitely lost some IQ. My speaking is piss poor today. Listening to Mario Lopez was the most fluent speaker in the group. Mario Lopez. Someone who was on Saved by the Bell back in the 80s. I think he was a wrestler in the show. And I know he has helped with, I think it's boxing. I know he's done some kind of fight announcing in the past. He did have experience. But still, he's high off his ass. He's got jack shit announcers with him. Like, he had Pete Davidson up there. Some guy named Boxface. Gloves Face. I don't care. Like, he kept saying how, I'm going to get it wrong. I don't want to misquote him, but he just kept saying the weirdest stuff. He'd always try and ramp up. Oscar De La Hoya was there, and he kept trying to amp up Oscar De La Hoya, he was off his gourd on some Snoop shit. Like, it was crazy. But yeah, listening to that was painful. It was really tough. Honestly, if they had Rogan there, just to kind of keep everyone... They didn't have anyone that could just be like, shut the fuck up, everyone. Like, we need to just make some kind of business out of this so we can do this right. We don't have to get distracted by all this garbage going on in the background. If he was there, I mean, he might have been lost in it a little bit because he definitely gets carried away. But I think he might have helped keep it a little more grounded, which... just might have helped. But with all the performance, oh no, he would have been gone. Joe Rogan would have been spouting at the end of that, so it's good they probably didn't get him. Okay, Bieber. Oh, this was sad. All this awfulness, and then Janet Uribe, I don't even know who she is. No, I'm not saying that she has a great voice. I only caught the last 10 seconds of the national anthem because it was muted. Oh, it was so great. It's not great. That sounds bad for her, I guess. But, like, of all the things in that whole shit show of 4 hours, the only thing to get muted, and not just like, oops, we fixed it, real quick mute. She got to, I think the bombs were bursting in air before I heard words. It was just awful. And she's going like hearts in it. You could see nothing. I was fixing I'm trying to hit the volume because it's usually me. I'm not going to say that this happens all the time where technical problems happen and it's not my fault. No, this was not my fault. It was pretty nuts. But what was life? So yeah, Janet Uribe. Hopefully you get a better occasion to sing the national anthem at. Maybe a hockey game, honestly, something that people will respect, being there and telling people, hey, I was at this event. In other stupid news, I've been absolutely destroying The Circle. Watched the shit out of that. I don't know why I love those shows so much, but I love those shows so much. And it's mostly because I hate the show. Like, I'm going to get mad at every single person on there because, well, they sent home Savannah, which was weird. Sorry, spoilers. I should just have spoilers at the beginning of every video because if I talk about something, I'm going to spoil the end. Savannah gets sent home. It's like, what are you doing? Why would you send home responsible people. But then again, you realize that it's a social experiment game, so it's just based on people's thoughts and social interactions, which combined, I mean, it's definitely show worthy, as they've, second season maybe, but whoa, it is. Like, you go in there and you're like, wow, that is a rational human being. They're thinking about others. They're thinking with their, with their mind. They're not just thinking about money or pussy or dick or ass or anything like that. No. They're, some of them are really clear with their thoughts. And those people usually get sent home in the first, 3 days. Well, I don't like comparing. After the words I just used to say, well, Bryant, the spiritual healer man, he was surprisingly, he was out. You knew he was going to be sent home as soon as he walked in and said, I am a breath coach. It's like, oh, sorry, you don't need $100,000. But he tried his hardest. Good. I didn't check any of the mics. He tried his hardest to be friends with everybody, which when you're trying to be friends with everybody is the worst way to become friends with everybody. Okay, that camera's out. What is it? About 25 minutes we get with this camera. Connection lost. You're right beside each other, but you got it. So, yeah, he didn't last very long. I mean, Subham from season 1, if we want to shoot all the way back there, Subham was like those sweet tart candies in a person. It just, no, because those are a little sour, and Subham was not sour. He was like runts, all sweet all the time. The lime's a little bitter, but it's all right. Yeah, that's fine, camera. Just stop talking to me. So yeah, Bryant got sent home. Then you had Savannah, who was, again, just trying to stick out for people who had done good things for her and, had actually reached out to her on a honest connection level, which I think was funny because I'm pretty sure one of the people that she saved was a catfish. Anyway, so she tried to save someone. Tara Alicia flipped the whole thing on her, which I thought Tara Alicia was going to be a good person at the beginning, just because of how she came on. She's like, I don't like people messing around with me, and I don't like messing around with other people. It's like, oh, cool, Tara Alicia, you're going to do just fine in this game. But she loves messing around with other people. It's like, oh, what the heck? So, she'll figure her way out. Yeah, so that's, I've been watching that. New episodes come out 21st. Damn it, that's Wednesday. So, I'm gonna have to wait. I'll talk about that in the next one. So yeah, that wraps up all the Idiocracy I've been watching. If you do want to make a comparison, if you watched the garbage fest that was Triller Fight Club, which they got, how did they get the rights? This is how you know money can buy anything. They were calling it Triller Manila, which, I guess it's not the Thriller in Manila, so maybe they don't have the issue there. But they were showing Mike Tyson and stuff. But to compare a Mike Tyson heavyweight fight, which was like world-renowned, people are all over it, to compare that to just some YouTuber who's been training in boxing for a year plus, fighting a wrestler who's been training for a month, after a rapper took on an actual boxer, like, that should have been the main card right there. And then there were two boxers, I don't know their names, but one of them had blue hair. In between, Vergase. I know that sounded, it's Vergase, it's something like that, Vergay, or Gervais. I don't think it's Gervais, but I'm pretty sure it's an acronym, anagram of that. But anyway. So that was a better fight. And not just because, both people could take a punch and knew how to throw punches. No, the Raycon fight, he didn't know. He was doing this, jabbing. He looked like, those pens? The frog with the boxing glove pen? And it goes like this. He looked spot on like that. But, yeah, I would have rather seen that as a title fight with the Paul Askren just there at 9 o'clock. Just like, oh, yeah, it happened. Obviously, that wouldn't be the case. That's not how boxing works. But yeah, so circle, dumb stuff. Oh yeah, so if you watched all that, that's what I was getting at. I knew I had a point to this. If you watched all that, and you were like, huh, how can I compare this to where I think the world is heading? There's a Mike Judge film. He also created Office Space, fun movie. But there's a Mike Judge film about, you'll see, it's basically about what just happened, minus the boxing background, I guess. But you can figure out why it's pretty similar otherwise. Idiocracy by Mike Judge. Look it up. It is, whew, we are spiraling towards it, if I ever saw that. So, bustin' Jeebers, reach out, touch faith. I don't know. Learn how to perform, man. That was pretty embarrassing. Like, I'm not saying I'm a Biebster, but oh yeah, that's off. Why did I give a look over there? I don't know, man. Just step up your game. It's his birthday coming up soon, in like a month. So maybe this is just, the wrong month. Maybe we gotta wait till after his birthday. Who knows? It's the 18th. What? Crazy? Yeah, that's it. I don't know. And thanks for listening, thanks for watching. There we go. Oh my god, I'm gonna wait till the end to talk about my listeners. But thank you, listeners. You're the best. If anyone is actually listening and not watching videos, I mean, you're not missing much, but please watch the videos. It'd be cool. But thanks for listening. That's really cool. Hopefully the audio is okay. All right. Well, happy days, everybody, and we'll see y'all in a week.